Welcome to another episode of West Coast Hot Shots. Today, we're going to cover startup costs and operating costs. I'm not going to really go into detail the actual amount it cost me to start, but I'm going to give you a ballpark figure as well as the operating costs because we all know operating costs fluctuate based on gas prices and distance. So, when I started with the first truck, I spent about 7,000 down to get into the truck. Then I had that short bed, so I had to do that custom work, that offset gooseneck hitch. That was about $500 in materials, another 500 to install. So that was that. The trailer I bought, it was used, it cost me 4,500 for the 3-car wedge. I put another 7,000 in it to make it road worthy. That's how much work I had to put in it to not get any violations from DOT. And I did some extra things and upgrades as well. So that was just in equipment. That's not counting my auxiliary tank. That's not counting my auxiliary tranny cooler or my aluminum radiator, things that I did to my truck to help it run cooler. So ballpark figure in equipment to get rolling, I was about at 25,000. Now operating, the one thing about car transport is we don't have a big choice on factoring companies as opposed to people who haul freight, where it's abundant of factoring companies. And I learned through trial and error dealing with these factoring companies, they don't fund you in 24 hours. It took this factoring company I was dealing with a week to fund me. So I didn't go the factoring route. What I did was there's certain places you can sign up with, like Cars Arrive, United Road, and they give you a quick pay option, which you'll get a com check with, they say 2-day quick pay or direct deposit. So I opt for the quickest way to get paid. Otherwise, I try to stick to CODs. And as long as you stay busy, those 5-day, 10-day, 15-day pays will start falling in. So you just got to get on the road. It takes about 2 months, 2.5 months for the checks to just start rolling in to where every week they coming in. And you have to make sure you have somebody stay on top of this billing. Because when these places are late the day of, you need to have somebody calling religiously. Now, one thing I did learn is to have your operating costs based off of the income coming in. Sometimes you're going to run into a wall because your operating costs for fuel, I don't know if you're staying in a room or whatever your lifestyle is, that's factoring your operating costs. You know, sometimes these checks don't come in fast enough to cover your living and your operating costs. And that's when credit comes in. That's what I put my operating costs on my business credit card. All my fuel, all my room costs goes on my credit card. And it's a plus because I get points on my business credit card. So I get cash back and I get other little perks. So now the brunt of the stress, which is having operating cost money, has been alleviated. So I encourage you to make sure you get your credit on point. If your credit isn't on point, I have some people that I could refer you to that'll help you get your credit on point. But to me, that's the smartest way, because now everything is accounted for. I keep all my receipts, but now everything's on that credit card, itemized, and I just pay it off at the end of the month. I let the check stack, pay it off at the end of the month. I have 3 people that I had the pleasure of meeting that I'm going to introduce you all to. I interviewed them real quick. They go over their setup, their equipment, how much it costs. Some go over how much they made. So now I'm going to give you all an opportunity to listen to people and get different opinions and different viewpoints of this hot shot trucking. Stay tuned. So the West Coast Hot Shot. I'm here with my partner Lewis. He does local runs out of California. This is his setup, 4 cars, and he also deals with in-out vehicles, which I've been talking to you guys about. So Lewis, how long you been doing hot shot trucking, bro?
About 4 years.
About 4 years? Okay, and how much did it cost you to get this set up?
Well, I pay about 22 grand total.
22 grand?
Yeah.
And what is your normal routes?
I mean, I'm only in Southern California. That's all I do.
Southern Cali, so you local?
Yeah, yeah.
Okay, that's what's up.
Yeah, go Ventura, LA, Orange County.
So what advice could you give somebody that's looking into getting into hot shot trucking on the West Coast?
Well, I mean, if they want to do something like this, first, anyone know that you got to know what you're doing. You got to know that you want to do this, you know, because it is a lot of risk, and you know, you got to watch out for all these vehicles out there that don't know how to drive, you know.
Yeah.
And if you understand the risk, then you understand everyone, and you're gonna be safe. Yeah. But the first thing is, you know, the easier way for me is to get a cash trailer and get a truck under payments. If you don't have all that kind of money, I had 21 grand cash, you know, lucky me, and I got it. But you know, that's the only thing.
You hear that, guys? That's somebody who's been doing this for 4 years. He bought his trailer right out. He's making payments on his truck, and he's saying the kids to be safe. You know why? You get in an accident, those insurance claims gonna make your insurance go up, and they stay up. It don't go down in commercial insurance. Once you get in an accident and somebody file a claim on you, guess what? Your insurance premium goes up and it stays up.
Oh yeah.
Anything else you want to add, Lewis?
Just whoever wants to start doing this, just keeping track in your maintenance, you know, your brakes mainly, and your oil change, your brakes, your fluids, everything to be on top, and that way you won't have any issues on the road.
All right, y'all, that's from Lewis out of Southern California. Thanks for tuning in to another channel on West Coast Hot Shots. Welcome to another episode of West Coast Hot Shots. Today I got a special guest, my partner. He got the 5 car, the Mini 5 with the 2017 5500 Ram chassis. So, about how long have you been doing hot shots?
Close to about 3 years now.
About 3 years? When you started, what did you start off with? I know you didn't start off with a chassis truck and a 5 car hauler.
Actually, I started touring. I was touring in a 2017 Freightliner.
Okay.
Double cab.
Okay. So about how long was you doing that before you ventured off into hot shot trucking?
About a year.
About a year. And when you started in a year, what was your setup for your first initial setup for hot shot trucking?
That's it.
The 5 car?
5 car. First trucking trailer.
So this whole time you've been doing hot shot trucking, what you think about it?
Oh man, that's lovely, man. I love it. Hard work, but you get out what you put in.
Okay, okay. And what advice would you give anybody out there that's in the process of starting hotshot trucking on the West Coast.
Hey, man, you gotta hustle.
Definitely gotta hustle.
You gotta hustle.
Now, I remember me and you had a conversation and you told me how much you made in 6 months. Do you want to disclose that?
Hey, man, listen. I'll put it like this. Within a year, I made close to about 200.
That's in the year. So, as y'all see, I'm bringing different perspectives, different people, different opinions. And I've seen this man haul luxury classics down to these inoperable vehicles. Yes, sir. It's definitely achievable. You know, when you out here doing this hot shot, you're gonna bump into some people that resonate with what you're trying to do. And these are the people you gravitate towards, because we all on the same page to reach one common goal. Yes, sir. Welcome to another episode of West Coast Hot Shots. I found my twin. As you see, I pulled up in Arizona. This guy has the same exact truck as mine. Same front end. Only thing is he has a 4-car trailer. So we're gonna ask him a couple of questions about him and his equipment. As you see, he have a Sun Country trailer, 4-car with the extenders in the front and in the rear. So, how long you been doing hot shot trucking?
It's like 2 months.
About 2 months. So far, how do you like it?
That's good.
So what's your normal routes? Where do you go from?
My rounds was going to California, Phoenix, California.
Okay. So anybody starting out in hot shot trucking, what advice would you give them?
To use my get some more advices about the equipment or something, trucks and whatever.
So definitely do your research on the trucks and the trailers.
Yeah.
And as y'all see, guys, he has this 4-car hauler with extenders on the front and the rear. I'm in the process of getting my extensions extended in the front, so I'll be able to haul 4 cars as well. But he's maximizing his payload. That's what you want to do. Bringing you real people who's actually hot shot. This guy's been hot shotting for 2 months. If you don't mind me asking, about how much did you invest in your equipment to get going?
Together with the truck, I invest like 90,000.
You hear that, y'all? 90,000. This is not a cheap business to get into. Like I said, you don't want to start off with a used truck. Y'all seen in my past videos what a used truck will end up. All right, stay tuned.